Welcome to Salt and Sand, featuring Koa and Sandman. Let your worries drift away as you sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
Hey guys, welcome back to Salt and Sand. This is episode 6. We've got a couple things to discuss today. This podcast is actually probably going to be a little bit shorter than normal, just because there's not a whole lot going on right now. So if you guys have anything you want us to talk about, make sure to comment below some different topics that you think would be interesting. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. So starting off with reconnecting. So Koa and Sandman, what's been going on this week with your YouTube channel, streaming? What's been happening?
So in the way of streaming, recording, all that good stuff, I kind of slacked and I missed the ball on uploading, but I'm going to double upload this week to make up for it. And then we'll be back on the normal grind as we go. And then streaming wise, we have been really consistent. I had a planned day off on Friday, which I took and just relaxed with Lindsay, and we had a chill night at home. And then Saturday was our dating anniversary, which if you are on the Instagram or on the follow the vlog, you will figure that out. But you're gonna hear it on all the outlets. So I decided to take Saturday off as well. I think it's kind of a mutual thing. Is it's not ever said, I want to take a night off because we grind really hard and we work really hard. But you gotta take time to celebrate those. I don't want to call it a little thing, but celebrate those important things in your life. And it's just, and we said this too, dating anniversary is important because without dating, there's no engagement, there's no marriage, there's no anything afterward that you would celebrate. So we took Saturday and celebrated, stayed in a nice little condo, and then I'm going to be back on it tonight, which will be yesterday, but I'll also be on it tonight as in Monday night as of this recording. So the hardest part for me has been I've had the last 2 weeks off. And so because of snow, which we're going to get to, and Lindsay and my sleep schedule have been so messed up. They've been so bad. I've kind of felt like I've had freedom to stream longer and to stream a little bit later than I usually do, just because of not having to work for the last 2 weeks. And so tonight and hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to get sleep schedule figured out, get on a consistent time grind. And then this week also, even though I took 2 days off. Thursday night was incredible. Thursday night I had 25 viewers. I think I maxed out at 25. And all organic. No raids, no hosts from somebody already streaming. People just coming through. And that was insane to me. That was a huge blessing. Lindsay gifted a whole lot of subs, which she does. I had a couple of people that I know, they came through as well and gifted me a lot of subs. I had somebody donate $100. That was a gigantic deal. And then, spoiler alert, I cry on stream. So if you challenge people to make you cry, I found out that they'll make you cry. I took probably 10 minutes and I just had Mako on my lap and I was just telling them how thankful I was, how appreciative I was. I was beyond blessed, beyond thankful, a little bit beyond belief. And again, content creation is the goal. This being the thing is the goal. But to have something like that happen, which seems meaningful, is huge. I'm not saying we're even remotely close to making it, being a full-time anything, but just the fact that happened was so... It just really blew me away and totally blessed me. And so streaming has been good. It kind of sucks that we took 2 days off, but again, I'm not mad at taking 2 days off for the reasons that we did. Friday was planned. Saturday was a huge event, a huge deal to us. So going to get back on the grind, and then I'm going to hopefully figure out what I did wrong editing my last YouTube video and do that better and get that up. And I want to, probably for the next few, I'm going to edit them the same way, but I want to find out better ways, better tricks of editing and all that good stuff. So,
Right. And this week you're streaming every single night to make up for those 2 days, so
I'm glad I know. I think thanks for letting me know.
you're welcome. I already updated your schedule.
I saw an update, but I just saw like Sunday, and I was like, "Oh, yep, that's today." All right.
Yeah. And don't forget, you guys, to follow the Discords of Sandman and Koa. Each of them have their own Discord server, and they always post when they go live on their streams. They post whenever they have YouTube videos in there. It's a great way to be a part of the community whenever neither of them are live, because you can still talk to all the people that are currently in the stream. So just a way to stay connected. And then they both have their schedules up, so you know when they're streaming and when they're not streaming. So don't forget to follow their Discords as well.
Just become be a part of a fun community, because all the people who are there in my stream are the people who are in my Discord, and there's more people, but they're super fun, super lit, super dope people, and I love the little community that I have right now, and I wanted to have this vibe as it grows and gets bigger, because that's my mindset, is that it's going to work, and at some point all this hard work and all this prayer and all this everything that goes into it has to start paying off in gigantic leaps and bounds. And so when I have 1 million subs on Twitch and 1 billion subs on YouTube, I want it to still feel the same way.
Right. It's like a family.
For sure.
Okay. What about you, Sandman?
This week has been very interesting for me, I guess you could say, with work going on and just having to deal with, of course, the ice storm that happened that a lot of people know about. We'll get into that into more detail here in a bit. But yeah, just trying to live life as it is with the YouTube channels and streaming. YouTube wise, I still haven't uploaded yet. Don't get mad. I haven't uploaded yet, but I do have some videos already recorded, already in the software, in the process of getting edited. I just gotta, sit down and find some time and be able to, just knock it out. I'm just the type of guy that's very picky about stuff, and I like to go through it, literally frame by frame. I'm not the guy that is, like, oh, do little quick little cuts here and there, and then boom, that's a video. And I like to really put into as much as I can to every video, because I'm all about quality over quantity. But YouTube channels, both of them, my sports and the main one, I do plan on uploading here sometime this week. I'll let you guys know whenever I do, and then the links will be in the Discords as well. Make sure you join that. Like Lindsay said right now, streaming wise, it's been okay. It's been all right. I don't have too many complaints. I did have some issues here and there where like frame drops and like audio issues and stuff like that. It's very frustrating. We talked about this before, and still trying to figure out like the best way to work it out and the best settings here and there. But yeah, just the grind keeps going. I'm not gonna lie when I say that this past week has been a little troubling, and I know some people have noticed that I've been a little quiet in the Discord and streams and everything.
Like Lindsay and I.
Yeah, I've been a little quiet and I've been a little distant, and I do apologize for that. For anybody that was like a little worried, I did see some messages. I appreciate the people who were like concerned, but it's a little more transparent than I wanted to get there. But if I'm being 100% honest here, it's been a little troubling mentally, but I do plan on getting back into the streaming and just keep the grind going. And when is it? It's 10:18 as of us recording this on a Sunday night. It's actually the latest we've ever recorded an episode. So I hope, Lindsay, you have fun editing this overnight to get it up tomorrow. But
Lindsay got that Amazon Prime kind of editing skill, so she's gonna have it there tomorrow at 4:00 sharp.
Same day delivery. Well, not really same day, but overnight delivery.
Yeah.
Have fun with that. No, but in all seriousness, yeah, the streaming's been all right. I can't complain too much. YouTube channels, like I said, uploads are coming soon. Don't shame me for not uploading. I apologize. And just in the personal life, everything's been overall pretty fine. I have no complaints really.
Okay. All right. So good things to come, and just trying to persevere and get past this point of taking off to where it can hopefully someday become a career. It is a struggle, and it's definitely a grind, and it's definitely something that can weigh on you at times. So I'm sure anyone else that's in content creation kind of feels the same thing that's going on. And we've talked about that before with content creation and like the ups and downs, and how real life can mess with content creation whenever there's things going on there too. So keeping that in mind, we're going to move into talking about what has happened this past week, actually past 2 weeks, that has affected a lot of people's lives, which is the polar vortex. So we all know that that Arctic air came down and was over most of the United States, um, and that the Midwest and even the southern states were getting snow, getting ice. I'm sure if you're on TikTok, Facebook, any social media platform, you've seen what's been going on in Texas, where people's pipes are freezing, people are losing their houses because they're just becoming destroyed from the ice storms. And so a lot of things have happened these past 2 weeks. So, how has that affected you guys? And what are your plans now, if you've had any damages from that, moving forward, now that we're going to start warming up in temperatures this week?
Salmon, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Me personally, I didn't have too many damages. The only damages that we had down here was like plant life just dying.
Hmm.
That's honestly it. And, like, you go outside here, everything used to be so green and just very luscious and plant life. Now everything's all dead and brown and a little depressing. If I'm being honest, like I look around and I see plants that I've seen for a couple years now, just ravishing in color and life, and now everything's all just brown and lifeless. I'm just like, man, that's kind of crazy to see like a landscape just completely change based on Mother Nature. But
Yeah.
I didn't get affected too bad by this. The only thing we really got down here was sleet. That was the main thing. And we got down to, I think the coldest we got down here was 23 with a wind chill of 9. That's what I
Wow.
remember. That's actually the coldest weather I've ever been in, which is kind of insane. I know people are like, people know I'm from Texas, but I'm actually from the southern tip of Texas. I'm not by Dallas or the San Antonio area, so we didn't get the negative temperatures. We didn't get the ice and the big snow. The only thing we got here, like I said, was sleet. And I said this earlier this week. I was like, I was so you can ask these guys. I was so excited for snow. It was in the forecast. I saw it so many times. I was like, man, I want to see the snow, and we only got sleet. I was I was so excited because we saw sleet, and I get to saw see my own breath. Thought that
Yeah.
was cool. When it dipped down below freezing, I thought that was I was all giddy about that. And I know people were like, really, you got excited about that? And icicles. I saw icicles for the. I mean, they were only like, I want to say like 2 inches big, but I got to see some icicles for the first time. People were like, "You excited about that?" I'm like, yeah, we don't get that down here. You're talking about a place that gets like 105, 108-degree summers. Like, we don't get that down here. And I also said this at the beginning of the week. I was like, man, I'm excited for snow, but it didn't. So I was like, you know what? If it's gonna dip down to 20 degrees, let it snow.
Right.
Okay. If it ain't gonna
Facts.
snow, don't even go down to 20. Don't even bother. Get that out of here. Keep at your 35, 40, and just I'm good with that. Like, if it ain't gonna snow, don't even bother going below freezing. Okay. Which I
I
do like the
totally
cold.
agree.
I do like the cold. Don't get me wrong. I prefer it over the heat. But
Hoodie Sandman.
hoodie Sandman was a thing for a little bit. It actually felt
Ooh.
really comfortable. It really did. It was the first time me actually trying that, and that was really cool. But today it got up to 80 degrees, which was the
Yo.
which was the hottest that it's been in about a couple weeks. And dude, I'm not gonna lie when I tell you that it felt hot. It felt really hot. I was like, "Are you serious? Like, this is 80 degrees. This is like fall weather. This is nothing to us." And it felt hot. I was like, man, it's kind of insane. I can't imagine what the summer's gonna be like now. But it was cool. It was so cool. And like I said, we didn't get too much damage up there compared to what I've seen like in social media and TikTok going up there in Houston and Dallas. Which everybody that was affected by this, I do really hope that you guys are able to recover well, and hope it's nothing too permanent where it's like unrecoverable. I hope that you guys are willing to rebuild and get through this as great as you can, and just wishing you guys the best and everything. And I know you guys got snow and ice as well, right? And you guys were in negative temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So Sam's talking about, man, it dipped down to 23. I'm thinking, man, I think the lowest it got was negative 11 here. That's the coldest. That's the coldest temperature that you told me. That's the coldest temperature that I know. So yeah, we live in Missouri, Missouri, sorry, and and so the thing that's bad about that, and people who are from Missouri know this, Missouri, the climate doesn't make any sense because we'll dip down to like negatives. We were in negatives quite a few days over the last couple weeks, or in single digits, super cold with negative wind chill. But then in the summer, we'll get up to 100, 105. So we're just constantly bouncing back and forth, but it's like every month, maybe even on a weekly basis, we're in a different season. Because 2 weeks ago, it iced, like just ice, and it was bad enough to where traveling was very impacted and so on. And then the snow came, and it snowed literally in the town we live. There was 3 inches in some places and 6 inches in some places in the same town that we live in. So we got so much snow. Like we just kept having. I always call them purple roads because that's what they are on the app. But our roads were always covered, so we couldn't go do anything. So there was one day in the midst of those 2 weeks where we were able to safely get out and go get some more food, so we could survive the next week because we knew some stuff was going to happen. But yeah, so that was the thing. Salmon was super excited, and he sent us the picture of the like icicle or two that he found because he was so excited. I'm like, bro, they're everywhere here. Like there's icicles hanging off of icicles.
We don't get that down here, man. It's the first time I've ever seen.
Right. So I was like, I'm sick of seeing those things. Stop, don't send me anymore. But yeah, it was insane. And then I know, like Sam kind of alluded to things happening in Texas, but there were a lot of outages. I know they had some rolling blackouts, and that's what was crazy to me is we had that here. I mean, not where we live, but in the town about an hour north of us, they were doing rolling blackouts there, which was wild to me. They have, I think the population is, I don't know, I don't want to guess. It's a pretty big city, but they were doing rolling blackouts, which is gigantic and crazy to me. And I know at one point our electric company sent out we have a peak advisory, and I don't even know what that means really, but I'm like, I'm not turning my air off. I'll tell you that much right now. I think we turned it down to 64,
62 at one point.
62, and then I mean, yeah, and then I fired up a stream because we grinded, and that's why. But the only thing on was my PC, my PS4, my monitors, the lights, and then I think Lindsay probably had the TV on or something like that. But yeah, it's wild. And then this whole weekend it's been 50, and everything's melting, and now it's like, and over the next week probably it's gonna look like nothing happened. And then I saw next Monday we have a chance for snow. I'm thinking, what? It just constantly, you don't ever know what's going to happen.
Right.
Because in the summertime, and it's been probably, I don't know, between 5 and 10 years ago, it snowed in May here, a considerable amount, like 3-4 inches in May. Bro, this state is so weird. If you didn't know where we existed, and I gave you all this information, you probably put it on the West Coast or on the East Coast or like super north, super south, or you know what? Missouri moves to different places. Okay, that's all I've got. We're actually on a giant plane, and we're just slowly flying back and forth to different climates. That's all I got. But nothing crazy happened here. We had power. It flickered 3 times, literally right off and right back on the same night. And that was it. That was the scariest thing that's ever got for us. We always had food. It was always warm in here. Mako really enjoys eating the snow, running around, so she had fun running around and chewing on the snow. We have a new bulldog neighbor. I mean, like, listen, I'm not calling somebody a bulldog. We have a neighbor with a bulldog.
Bulldog neighbor.
And Mako didn't know about it till they were both outside together going to the bathroom, and so Mako was very excited and also very cautious. And the bulldog just stared at her while she ran back and forth and barked and wiggled her nub. So, Yeah, he or she. I don't know. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl bulldog, but Meg was very excited, and he was just staring at her. So anyway, it's been wild. It's been super cold, so we haven't even gone outside, and we only went out when it was safe. So
That's one thing I forgot to mention too. The rolling blackouts was a big issue down here, and we actually got that. Me personally, my house got affected by that. I want to say it was Thursday night. Whenever I
I
took
think so.
the night off, I was forced to take a night off. Damn you, power! But it was rotating like, and I have a big group chat with some of my high school friends, and it was like, oh, we just lost power, and then they say, oh, I got power back, and literally at the same time, I lost my power. So it was rotating blackouts, which is very interesting. And yeah, it's just man, it's crazy to think because so many people up north were like, man, y'all get a little bit of snow and y'all shut down. We're not used to this. Our infrastructure is not made to handle this. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think when they were building stuff down here, you know what? You know what's one thing we want to think about? Cold resistance. I don't think that was on the agenda. I don't think that was on the list of things to work on. But hey, now we know for the future, I guess, and everybody knows about the whole Ted Cruz situation with him going to Cancun and stuff. I don't want to get too much into that, but it's kind of like, dude, your whole state is running on fumes right now because our electrical grid is so bad because it is an independent electrical grid, and there's people literally not dying of hypothermia inside their own houses because the electrical grid is just not keeping up because of this cold weather, and you flee to Cancun and you throw your daughters underneath the bus. Like, really, dude? I'm not gonna get too much into that, but it's like, come on now, like, dude, don't do that again, please,
Right.
and thank you. At least when he came back, I guess he brought the sun with him, so I guess that's a good thing. But
He was just going to get the sun. No biggie.
dude, how much we took the sun for granted.
Yeah.
Dude, I looked up at that thing. I was like, "Don't ever leave us again, okay?" Please and thank you. But yeah, it's been insane. We thought I saw a meme that was like 2021, like slapping 2020. It was like, "That's how you keep people indoors." I was like, "Yeah, that's very true."
That's not exactly that. I wanted to go touch back on what you just said was that, yeah, that was what's crazy. People, in the north, like in the northern US, I should say, are all like, oh my gosh, you guys get like an inch of snow and don't know what to do. And like you said, you guys aren't built to handle that. Guess what? Guess who's built to handle that? Everybody in the north, because it snows 13 months out of the year. Like, it's always snowing in the north. They get a foot of snow and still go to school. And like, you guys get an inch and it ruins everything. But guess what? They're used to it. You guys aren't. And again, we're just going back to the last week how we talked about if we had 30 seconds to talk to the whole world, we'd give a unifying speech. And I think that's honestly just based on what's happening in our own country. Like, people are so inconsiderate and just don't take literally 5 minutes to be like, I wonder why Texas is struggling so much, even though it didn't snow and ice as bad as it always does here. Like, do some research. Stop being a jerk face. All right. I'm done.
Dude, people have been so selfish the past week, especially down here, because of everybody just panic buying. The panic buying thing is happening again, with everybody just leaving the shelves empty of basically milk and bread. All the toilet paper was there, but the milk, bread, the eggs, the fruits, the vegetables, everything is just completely out of stock right now, and it's insane. And that just goes back to the selfishness thing. Like, dude, be considerate of other people who need the stuff more than you do. You do not need 20 gallons of milk. You do not need 50 loaves of bread. What are you going to do with that in a week? You're going to throw it out because you suddenly realize, wait a minute, I don't need this much food. I'm being an a-hole right now because this could be used for 20 other families who desperately needed that. Oh my God, I am a bad person. Now I got to throw this out because it's all spoiled and bad and I'm not going to be able to eat this. You inconsiderate. Never mind. But yeah.
Whoa.
It's insane down here. Just and I'm not saying that everybody is inconsiderate. I'm not saying everybody is, selfish and everything. There is a lot of good people out there who have been out there giving a helping hand to a lot of people and communities. And it's just, it's just some of those bad eggs that just have to ruin it for a lot of other people. And I just hope that people can be more open-minded and be considerate of others going through such a hard time right now.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been a crazy 2 weeks with everything going on. Like they both said, so many people affected. So just keeping them in your thoughts, prayers, sending them all good vibes. And so moving on from that, let's get into World of Gaming. So what games have you guys been into lately? Are there any new games that are coming out? Have you noticed anything that you're wanting to add to your setup? Or are there any brands that you're really loving right now?
I'm about to drop the bomb on Lindsay when we talk about the products we're gonna add to the setup. Not really, but she knows I've been researching, and I'm gonna kind of let her know what I'm looking at. So, um, in terms of what we've been playing, this week's been wild. So Apex a little bit, dip my toes back in Rainbow Six for a little bit. I think maybe it was Tuesday. I kind of popped off a little bit. It's called a bot lobby, but listen, I shot those bots in the face. And then I also played Little Nightmares, the first one, which means I will play the second one. It was fun. It's not super scary. It wasn't super intense. There were just some really creepy monsters that you got to look at. The dude with the long arms,
He was
like the
creepy.
first time he popped up, I was just thinking, I don't want to be here. I don't I don't want to be involved in this. I don't need to see him anymore. But you know what? We beat him. I won't say easily. It took me a minute to figure it out. But we beat him. Beat the whole thing in 3 to 3.5 hours. It wasn't too bad. We're gonna dabble in Little Nightmares in the near future, or Little Nightmares 2 in the near future. And then Lindsay started talking about Battlefront 2, and then other people started playing Battlefront 2 again that I know. So I re-downloaded it and played Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2, in case you don't know. My goodness, it's fun. It was really fun. I just kind of had fun shooting. We were playing co-op, so it was me and a couple of other guys, Togue and Wax. We were just shooting AI basically, but it was fun. Yeah, we were just chilling, having fun. Togue and I did a 2v2 against other heroes. So like you get either Jedi or Sith, and you get to pick between like the big heroes. I got mollywopped the entire time. I don't know who this one dude was, but this man made me look foolish every single time I tried to fight at all. Period. I just literally run in, get sliced in about 4 seconds, and then I was out. And Toad would just be sad trying to 1v2 and win. But it was really fun. I think honestly I could see a mix of all those in the next week. Yeah, that's what I have. And I think Little Nightmares 2 is definitely the one I'm looking forward to the most, just because of my experience with Little Nightmares.
Okay.
The only games I've really been playing is, again, the same old of Apex, and dipping back into Rainbow Six Siege. I hope to get the full energies back on that game compared to what I used to, and it's been interesting going back, considering the difference between Apex and Siege, like the movement in general, because Rainbow Six Siege is a lot slower
It's just
compared to
tactical.
Apex. It's very tactical. I honestly forgot how Siege played, because I haven't, not alone played it, I haven't watched most of it to see like all the new stuff and how it plays. So going back into it is a little weird, and it's gonna take a little bit of getting used to. But I feel like yeah, I really want to get back into that. I enjoyed it whenever we did that big old run of Seeds back 2 years ago, when literally all I streamed and uploaded. But I feel like I go through phases of games every year. Like I remember 2017 was very random. 2018 was Fortnite. 2019 was Siege. 2020 was Apex. And 2021 is still Apex, but like dipping into more like variety as well. Trying to switch up the content here and to make it not like stale or anything. But Siege is something I want to get used into again. Apex is again, I said it a million times, both here on the podcast and on stream. It's dope. I've been enjoying it. I actually went back and looked at my first ever match of Apex when it first came out. I was like,
Oh, you did?
I did earlier today. I was like, dude, the things I would have changed and done differently in gunfights is so crazy. and just to
What-
see like the difference.
What's bad is I probably played that way that you're looking at going, man, that's so bad. I probably played that way for like the first whole 2 seasons, yo. I didn't understand what recoil was. I didn't know there were good and bad legends. I didn't know metas existed. Guys, listen, I was the definition of a casual everything. I didn't It's just like Madden, when you watch Madden, you're like, oh, you just play football, just hand the ball off, and then if you run the ball really well, you run a play action. No, you spam the same 4 plays until you get a touchdown. Okay, maybe just 2 plays, low key, and then on defense, you have either have a nano blitz or a nano blitz. Like, it's not real football. Just like these shooting games are not just just run around and have fun. If you want to be good, you got to learn how to be good.
Yeah, and it's funny because in that video, it's actually up on my channel. You can look at it right now. But on the video, I was comparing stuff to Fortnite. I was like, man, it's like the shield in Fortnite and stuff like that. I was saying that in the video because that was just when I was just getting out of my Fortnite phase. So it was insane. I remember asking in that video, I heard myself ask, I was like, what's the better shotgun, the Eve 8 or the Peacekeeper? I'm like, dude, really? Dude, really? Now I heard that, and me today was like, really, dude, you're asking that? Like, this is really a question that just came out of your mouth right now, right? But it's insane. Just see the difference of the game and how much it's involved into what it is now. Yeah, a lot of people can say what they want. It's a dead game and stuff like that. They could repeat that until they're out of breath. Listen, doesn't matter if it's a dead game or not. I am enjoying the ever living fluff out of it, and I enjoy playing it whenever we get a chance. And just keeping on, trying to get to plat for the first time in my Apex career. Hopefully that happens soon.
Man, you're not gonna gloat about your career high right now?
My career high?
At rank.
What is it? I completely forgot. I haven't been on a couple days. What was it again?
I don't know if you're
gold 3 or 2.
I don't know. You might be 2, low key.
I think it's 2. I think it is 2. Yeah, like you said, that's the highest rank I've been on Apex so far. I am proud of that, but we going for more. Damn it.
That's right.
We're going for more.
I hit plat, and then Toke hit gold 1, and I think you're gold 2.
Yeah,
and
literally in the order.
In order. So I don't know really how that happened because I've only played rank with you two. I think maybe we played a couple by ourselves, but yeah, we're gonna definitely listen. We joked that this is gonna be the season for Diamond. This actually could be.
We're on
the season
pace
for Diamond.
We're on pace.
Oh, for sure. We honestly kept talking about we're gonna hit this plateau and not be fluff that. We going up. We going straight to Pred. Psych. We're going to get hard stuck in Diamond, but I will be a Diamond.
It's funny because we joked. It was like, man, this is gonna be the season. I feel this is gonna be the season. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
We said the same thing last year. We ain't gonna talk about that. Or last season. But we were saying like, man, this is the season. I feel like this is gonna be a really great season. Yo, I did not expect it to be this great of a start on the season.
And
Like-
honestly, we've changed how we played ranked a little bit. It's probably not as entertaining, but yo, it's so rewarding to see your rank go up. Like, let me say not your rank go up, but your RP go up almost every match. I'm playing a legend I usually don't play. I'm using Caustic, and let me not say that. I mained him in season 5. Why? I don't know, because he definitely was not meta. Now he's super meta. Actually, all right, I'm gonna get lost in Apex talk. The meta in Apex is wild right now. It's like Octane, Caustic, Revenant. That's a composition, and then there's teams who run Bloodhound, Horizon, Gibby. I think to me, this is the most diverse season we've ever had, and it's because of being on Kings Canyon. Octane is probably in the streams that I watch anyway. He's probably the most common in a 3 stack. There's always an Octane just because of his mobility and ways to get around. So
I never thought I'd be a Bang main again, because that was my first main for season 1 and season 2. And I haven't used her since much. It's been Bloodhound and Lifeline. I never thought I'd go back to Bang, but here we are, going up to upper tiers of gold with Bang.
That's right.
I never would have thought, man, hopefully going up to platinum sometime soon. Hopefully, at least before the split.
For sure.
It definitely happen, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be. But we still got legit like a month, maybe a little more, a little less. But we've got a long time till the split.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, looking forward to that gameplay. Hoping you guys meet your goals in Apex and that we're able to see that. And then hopefully we can see some gameplay on YouTube too of you guys meeting those goals and um, just seeing where you guys go with it. So moving on from gaming, we're going to get into world of sports. So what's going on with football, basketball, baseball? What's happening in the world of sports?
As you all know, football has wrapped up. Everybody's just doing their free agent talk now. I saw people grading the last class of rookies, and now they're grading the next class of rookies and who should go where and blah, blah, blah. The only thing that really happened was today, actually, Cam Newton getting confronted by a high school kid. It just blew my mind. This kid called him, he said, "You're a free agent, you're about to be poor, you're trash," and blah, blah, blah. I was just thinking, you could just take this moment and talk to a guy who's made it and who makes millions of dollars and has been an MVP.
Former MVP who's been in the Super Bowl.
And use that as a growing moment and not a moment to make yourself look dumb.
Right. Instead of getting advice from a guy who's made it, you went over there and trashed him just for a couple laughs and get a few clicks online.
Yeah, you're going to be famous on TikTok for the next 24 hours, and then nobody will ever know who you are again. So congratulations. Congratulations. You played yourself.
Exactly.
Football-wise, that's all I know.
Oh, the Carson Wentz trade.
Oh, yeah. Carson Wentz getting traded to Indy. I think that's super interesting. I'm curious to see what he can do with weapons? Question mark? Does Indy have weapons?
T.Y. Hilton. They got Paris Campbell, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of my head, I don't think they're with the team anymore. Paris Campbell, and then they got somebody else. I don't know the Indy roster that well. I apologize to any
their first pick from this last year. That's that he's not bad.
Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman Jr.
So,
and in the backfield they got Jonathan Taylor and all these guys. And, man,
right? Yeah, they have a good running back.
I'm actually, and I used to dog on Wentz just because he was an Eagles guy. I mean, let's be honest. But in all actuality, he's actually he's a pretty damn good quarterback. Just never got the team around him. So hopefully, this is just the change in scenery that he needs in order to revive his career. I hope he does really well in Indy.
And my thing, it's crazy. I may have said this on the podcast. I've definitely said it to Sandman. It was always who should the Eagles take? Wentz or not? Sorry, who should the Rams take? Wentz or Goff? And I was always super high on Wentz, and I didn't really care so much for Goff. And who would have thought that neither of them would be my answer now?
You got Matthew Stafford.
We have Matthew Stafford. Supposedly, people are contacting him to come to LA, and I really hope that's true. We need somebody. Tyreek, hear me out, bro. Tyreek, just listen real quick. I know you listen to the podcast. Just go ahead, leave Kansas City, be like, my time is done here. Take a $100,000 contract. That's probably below minimum. Listen, go play in LA for
minimum.
Go take a mill. Go take $1 million. Let Steve will pay you
$500K, $750K.
It's something even I would salivate at to go sit on the bench. Go take your $1 million and go to LA. We need a deep threat. That's the thing. We need somebody who can stretch the field. Once we have that, I think Stafford's gonna like to join up. But yeah,
sign Dak Prescott.
This man just wants Dak to be signed. It to Dallas, right?
Yes. No, bro. To Washington.
Yeah, be careful what you wish
for. That's somebody we'll want to face twice a year. Totally. Goodness. I at least want him signed before the draft, so we don't have to go into the draft question if we need a quarterback.
I dig that. So I think what's going to happen from here on out is, we'll comment on the occasional football watch bomb. That's not a thing. The rap bomb.
Yeah. Or Adam Schefter.
Right, Schefter. So we'll start dabbling into basketball a little bit. And again, guys, there's 30 teams and there's 10 games a day almost, it seems like. So we're not going to touch base on everything. Otherwise, this will be a 4-hour podcast and we trying to wrap it up like under an hour, and that usually fails. So big stories from today or over the last couple days. So yesterday, again, Warriors fan. Warriors lost to the Hornets because Draymond Green is Draymond Green.
I saw that he got the double check.
He got double teched with 10 seconds left, and that low key probably actually lost us the game. But you know
Draymond
what? It's
Green
fine.
fashion.
Like who would have thought Kelly Oubre hits a dagger and then it's not even a dagger? That's crazy. But Steph was a late scratch because he wasn't feeling well, and I was like, okay. So Steph took the night off. We got beat by 2 in like literally the last 10 seconds. Pelicans came back today from 24 down to beat the Celtics, which is insane. The Pelicans have a really, really nice foundation, and I think they got a great future moving forward.
Definitely.
And here's my thing, because I want to talk about Zion for a second. Zion Williamson is a freak. I'm a Duke fan, so I already love Zion. Zion's a dude I'm going to follow his whole career. Zion probably only does one thing. Well, okay, he can shoot a little bit, but this man is 200 and 300 and 450 pounds of muscle. Okay, this man is gigantically ripped, and he just bullies people. He'll bully if you're 6 foot, he'll bully if you're 7 foot, and he don't give one fluff about it. So, like, you can say, oh, he just does the same thing every time. Well, guess what? It's effective. This man's bodying everybody. You just see him bullying everybody in the paint, going up, getting fouled, getting an and one. Like, and another thing, Zion is shooting super well from the free throw line, like 80%, I think, which I did not expect him to do at the NBA level. So, yeah, shout out to the Pelicans. I think they got a nice base. Ingram been playing well, too. They got Lonzo shooting normal-ish. So,
Spurs fans out there, we haven't played in the past, I want to say almost a week, because of the 4 positive COVID tests that occurred there, which came completely out of nowhere. I saw the tweet. I was like, ain't no way. But first thought was literally like, I hope it's not Pop. Damn it. Anyone but him. But we play back on the 24th against the Thunder. That should be a win, if I'm being honest. The Thunder is literally the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander show and nobody else. No,
don't forget about my man Dort.
No disrespect to Dort or Mike Muscala. But yeah, like, can we talk about that Fred VanVleet shot he got today?
Yo, that's a highlight of the day. Fred VanVleet. Yo, if you haven't watched it, go watch his shot clock buzzer beater against who they play?
The 76ers.
The Sixers. Yo, he hit the wildest. It's not the wildest. A really wild shot. Like falling, fading away, almost a turnover, banked it in. There are dudes who can't hit a wide open 3. Like, think about this. Ben Simmons doesn't even shoot 3s, and Fred VanVleet just slinging them and throwing them in the basket. That's another dude who I'm really impressed with, because he came in like, Wichita State dude, didn't think there's going to be much room for him in the league, going to be a role player. And this man is slowly evolving and kind of already taken over the leadership part of that team. He kind of low-key carrying the load. He's kind of stealing it from Kyle Lowry. So I've been super impressed by VanVleet, already written off as soon as he came in, and then he's played, especially this year, like finals and all that. After that, he's just kind of blossomed into a really good player. So I'm enjoying following and watching him as well.
I told Ross that buzzer beater shot he got looked like the Jeremy Lamb game winner from a couple years ago against the Raptors. Speaking of that, but shout out to I saw also Jamal Murray with 50 points the other day, a 50-point game without free throws. I think that's what you said.
21 for 25 shooting, hit 8 threes.
Insane.
And then that's the same day that Embiid had 50 points. And he went 1 for 2. He had 49 and went 1 for 2 from the line, so he ended up with 50. But he had like 50 points, 17 boards, a couple assists, like 4 blocks, a couple steals. He went absolutely crazy. Shout out to Embiid, because everybody wrote him off for being injured all the time. So, I mean, like, and then the Pistons. Okay, the Pistons are trying to trade Blake Griffin, and he's not even playing, so I don't even know if the Pistons are going to be relevant this entire year, besides the trade that they make for Blake Griffin at some point. I think the biggest news today is the Nets beating the Clippers without Kevin Durant. Holding a Clippers team to 108 points, that's impressive, not having arguably your best defensive player. Because I'm not counting on Harden or Kyrie to lock anybody up, but the Nets, and in LA, the Nets are scary. I don't know. You can talk about their shoddy, whatever defense. If they're cooking on offense, there's nothing you can do. You're not going to stop Kyrie and James and KD like that. So the Nets are a team to watch for sure, and I think they're going to do some crazy things in the playoffs. They could win the whole thing. It wouldn't surprise me. I think a Western Conference team has a better shot just because they'll be better, well-rounded. The Jazz, nobody talking about the Jazz, who are in first place. Lakers, Clippers, even the Nuggets, I think, have a well-rounded team, play really well together. So, I don't know. But the Nets are super interesting to watch.
Good old breaking news we had literally right when we were recording. Before we started recording was Minnesota Timberwolves firing their coach. That was a bomb dropped right before we started recording. Timberwolves dismissing coach Ryan Saunders. And it looks like from what I'm seeing on tweets from Waj himself is that the Timberwolves are going to sign Raptors assistant coach Chris Finch to a multi-year deal. And it's going to be finalized tomorrow.
That's wild.
That is a multi-year already. That's very insane. Considering the Timberwolves are what, 8-24?
Yeah,
I want to say worst record.
7 or 8-24.
7-24 actually, worst record in the league. So they got the first number one overall pick with Anthony Edwards. It looks like they're gonna double back this next year with the number one pick. So.
More on the topic. Edwards been playing really well. Had the dunk of the year so far, in my opinion.
Yes, I saw that. One of my friends sent it to me. I was like, dude, that dunk of the year so far, it sounded so satisfying. It looked so satisfying, especially in slow-mo. It looked so good.
And then he had the gall to like dap up the dude he dunked over. Like it was nothing. Like they just had a nice moment. That dude's like, you just ended my career. Thanks, buddy.
Pretty
much. So hopefully over the next few weeks we'll get a little more in detail, a little more in depth on some things. But yeah, that's the biggest basketball topics that I had on my brain without running in 2 hours into the show. So right. Baseball is starting, I believe, this week. I don't know. I just the one baseball team I follow, as you guys know, is the Cardinals, and they said that this is the last week without Cardinals baseball, and I think is what they said. And then they said that catchers and pitchers, I said that backward and it sounded weird. Pitchers and catchers reported to camp, and then other position players were there. Like I know Dylan Carlson's been there, young prospect who I hope goes crazy because we got to watch him in Springfield. Nolan Gorman has been there, I think. Yeah, anyway, but baseball is starting up either this week or like next week, super soon.
Okay. Lots of things to look out for, lots of things happening in sports. And we're getting towards the end of our podcast, so we are now at the portion where I ask you both a random question. And so this week's random question is, if you could change one thing about your upbringing, what would it be?
See, this is tough. This is really tough. Here's what I'll say. For those of you who don't know, or don't know me very well, you might not know about my upbringing. Let me start by saying it was not the worst thing that ever happened to anybody. There are people with way worse stories that tell me that mine helped them. And I'm like, what you got through that, you're an inspiration to me. So long story short, my dad was super distant. My mom and my dad were married. They were together. They were together for, listen, you're hearing me say they were together. They were together for 30 years. Basically, the entirety of their marriage, my dad was cheating on my mom. And not usually with just one woman, with a lot of women. And my dad started out being there every single day. Like, he would work and come home every day when I was younger. And then as I got older, he was there Monday through Friday, and then we wouldn't see him on the weekends. And then it flipped at some point, and he was only there on the weekends, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then he was gone during the week. And then it became he was only there on Sunday every week. And then it became he was only there every other Sunday. And then it became once a month. And then it became random to the point when I was in high school, I didn't know where or when I would see my dad coming home. And that's because he was spending time with women because my dad is also an alcoholic and he got lots of DUIs and he couldn't hold the job because he kept getting his jobs taken away. And guess what he did? He found rich older ladies and he would do what he had to do to get some money, because there was a certain time I remember where my dad had a wad of cash in his pocket, hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars in his pocket, and he hadn't had a job for a month, I think. Something where I knew he shouldn't have money. And I was so confused, like, well, that means he's working then. And in your little kid brain, that's what you decipher. Where's my dad getting money if he doesn't have a job? So not having a dad in my life could have made me a terrible kid and could have made me a terrible man. I'm glad to say that God blessed me with a good head on my shoulders, and when I talked to my mom and my brother about it, we all decided that it was dumb and that you shouldn't do that, and I decided I would never be like that, and I was the exact opposite. I've been with Lindsay my entire life, and Lindsay's the only girl I've ever been with. I love her with all my heart. I wouldn't want to trade this one relationship for any kind of material, like superficial anything that you see in the movies or that even that my dad did. And so while I hate that I grew up without a dad, it made me who I am. And so here's what I'll say is, I don't think it was necessarily beneficial, but I used it, and I say this time and time again, you can let moments break you or build you. And I took that as probably the biggest building moment of my life as to who I am and what I identify with today. So not necessarily that I regret that happened, because again, I can't change it and I use it as something positive, but having a normal functioning relationship to see modeled in my own home between a husband and a wife would have been super helpful, because when I started dating Lindsay, I was terrible at being a boyfriend. Listen, not on that end. I didn't cheat. I didn't call her names, anything. I didn't know what to do, and I was so afraid of looking like that, looking pushy, looking like my dad, looking like a user, that I did nothing. I didn't want to hold her hand because I didn't want her to think I was coming on too strong. I didn't kiss her until we dated for 4 months. I didn't do the things that I should have done a lot earlier because I was so scared of looking that way. Had that been modeled in front of me, not even necessarily perfectly, but just in a good way, I would have known what to do or had somewhere to go ask questions. So my mom and dad are divorced now, and it's a good thing for both of them. They're on super great terms, all things considered. But and just to give you a life update, I tried to shut my dad out, but I just can't. So we're working on rebuilding our relationship, repairing it. He apologized for all that stuff he did back then. There's so much more stuff I could bring out that gave me every reason to honestly be some kind of a psychopath. But again, took those moments to be a good human and do good things, and here I am. So again, not that I want to change who I am today, because I don't, but if I could have had that modeled out in front of me better, and I don't want that to happen to my mom, and I wish my dad wasn't like that. So I wish I could fix that whole thing.
Right. What about you, Sandman?
This is tough because my childhood and throughout my life, me personally, I haven't really gone through too much. Like, the biggest thing happening was, I want to say, my grandfather passing away about 5 years ago, and that was a big hit on the family. But if I were to change anything about my upbringing, it would actually be not something relative about my childhood, but probably through like the teenage years, specifically when I was in high school. One thing I would change is probably my mindset throughout high school, because high school for me was very interesting, to say the least. It was an up and down roller coaster, and I would just change my mindset and just trying to stay focused on actual school and focus on the grades instead of focusing on trying to fit in with people or trying to focus on relationships or anything like that, because the mindset that I had was just not there in order for me to be, I guess you could say, academically successful, quote unquote.
Mhm.
And I wasn't an A+ student in any way, shape, or form. The report cards would read like a B, C's, D's, couple F's here and there, and I feel like I could have been so much better than I was, and because I was in band as well, and with UIL, and I'm pretty sure this is with I want to say every school, not just here in Texas, but if you fail, you do not get to perform,
Mhm.
and that happened to me a lot. That I failed and I did not get to perform. I didn't get to do this or that. And there was one point that hit kind of hard was we had a competition coming up for a state where we went to Austin, I believe, and I failed, so I didn't get to go. So I didn't get to be an all-state player, which hit kind of hard.
Mhm.
So one thing I would change is just a mindset and just focus on schoolwork, focus on trying to get academically successful, like I said earlier, and I saw the people around me just, pass their classes, get all the A's and everything, and then get rewarded with these scholarships and stuff. And I look at them and be like, man, like if only I could redo my high school years, I could. Because, like I said, the mindset was just not there. I was too focused on this or that, that honestly, post high school, you wouldn't even think twice about. And that's just, you know, something that happened. And it's something I gotta live with, unfortunately. But I will say those high school experiences make me what I am today
Mhm.
and build me into the person that I am today. And I mean, um, sorry, I kind of sidetracked there, but built me into the person that I am today, and I wouldn't really take any of it back if I so choose. I talked about it before, not here on the podcast or on stream or anything, but like with my friends and stuff. It's like, man, if I could do it back over again, I so could. I could have done so many things different, not just academically. I would have done, maybe I would have, probably joined football or something like that. I probably would have gone for that or gone for basketball, which I actually did before, and I sadly didn't make the team. Tears. But I talk about it a lot with my family. It's like, man, if I could redo it again, I could. But through the experiences that I had throughout high school, it was rather fun overall, and I enjoyed my time through it. And I was blessed on the fact that I got to graduate and I received my diploma, which I'm actually looking at right now. And I'm really blessed to say that I have that in my hands, and I'm really happy with how that has led me to the life that I have now. It didn't exactly go the way that I planned it. If I'm being 100% honest, the plan was to, go through college and get my college diploma and have a successful career. But obviously, life doesn't work that way all the time, and plans change throughout the years. So we're trying to make this to work now with content creation and have a successful life on our own. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if that was one thing I would change, it's just be a completely different mindset.
Okay. Well, thank you both for being open and honest with our listeners. I know sometimes it's kind of difficult to get into a question like that, but I think you both handled that very well. And I think it's good for people to hear, that other people do have regrets. Other people do have things in their lives that they struggled with that may have been hard on them, but because of those things, you are who you are now, And I'm sure everyone, if they could, they would jump in a time machine and they'd probably try to go back and they'd probably try to fix something. Or if they had a genie and they had a wish, they'd probably try to fix something. But it is important for everyone listening to remember that, no matter what's happened in your past, um, you still have your future. Things can change, you can be better and things can always improve in the future. So, with that, that's going to wrap up episode 6 of Salt and Sand. It's hard to believe that we're already on episode 6 and that next week will be episode 7. I hope everyone enjoyed listening to this week's discussion. As always, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And then don't forget to hit that little bell up in the top right corner. So every time the Salt and Sand podcast goes live for the premiere, you won't miss it at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time every single Monday. We hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next week with episode 7. With that, we're going to go ahead and roll the outro.
We hope you enjoyed this week's discussion. Before you go, don't forget to follow Koa and Sandman on their Twitch and YouTube channels. You can find Koa on Twitch as BossRoss and on YouTube as BossRoss Gaming. Sandman can be located on Twitch as iSandmanLive and on YouTube as Sandman. Take it easy, and we'll see you next week.